I'm Clements Burrows, and I'm presenting Berninneit Cultural and Community Centre on Phillip Island, which is on Bunurong country. And Berninneit means come together, and that was a title that was generated through the Bunurong Land Council, which the community of Phillip Island voted on to help name this new facility. The facility is in Cowes on the northern tip of Phillip Island, and the site itself is on Thompson Avenue, the primary north-south commercial street through Cowes. It's always been a site with civic buildings on it, but these were late 80s buildings, and the site had fallen into a fairly neglected state of disrepair, and there was some sorely needed new community facilities for the people of Phillip Island. The project's probably been about 20 years in the making. Lots of consultations, lots of false starts, but a structure plan happened in 2015, a concept scheme by Terrawire, lots of consultation, a second concept scheme by Ian Perkins Architects, and then we were appointed in 2020 just as COVID hit. So it was a fantastic way to try and deliver the community facility. Really complex program, lots in it: theatre, library, historical society museum, community rooms, council offices, an art gallery, customer service, enormous amount of stakeholder engagement, 17 external stakeholder groups, 11 internal council stakeholder groups, all trying to make sure everyone had a voice on the project. So what was the response? It was understanding the existing conditions and the reality the site had a car park on the eastern side and Thompson Avenue on the western side. First move was to celebrate the existing trees on site and ensure that the forest preserved the really substantial trees. That dual access meant that we had two front doors and two approaches, and the opportunities for a civic plaza on the west and a more informal courtyard garden entry experience on the east. Once we were inside, we really needed to coherently organise the program, and we created the Grand Hall as a circulation spine that connected all these diverse programs through the building. Again, because the programs are so different, when you extrude them volumetrically, you get quite an undulating roof form, and that actually worked into our response, which was about a topographic reading of the island. And then finally, we have a cultural facility that we hope is truly grounded in place and giving back to its site and the people of Phillip Island. Site plan shows Thompson Avenue on the bottom of the page, the bus exchange and car park on the top. And you can see the two civic, number one, Western Civic Plaza, and the more informal arrival from the east. You can see the central spine that coordinates all the programs, starting at the 260 Theatre on the right-hand side, adaptable community rooms, West Gippsland Library, Museum for the Historical Society, council offices and consulting rooms on the upper level. The section itself shows this diversity of program that the building had to accommodate, and again the undulating roof form that's generated just through the pure expression of the functional needs of the program. Sustainability was a huge driver for this project, and council was really interested in making a strong statement. We pursued a Passive House certified building. We've employed a lot of regionally sourced mass timber, zero carbon bricks, the obvious things like solar shading, but Passive House is all about a really well sealed thermal envelope. Photovoltaics, rainwater collection, those obvious things. But we had to do a lot of modelling to substantiate the Passive House approach, and compared to a deemed to satisfy building, this building is projected to use 70% less energy and have 70% less carbon emissions than a standard building. And the council were really interested in this. A lot of complex detailing comes out of this, airtight facades, insulated slabs, really heavy insulation on the outside of the building, and a lot of technical work looking at thermal bridging, how you stop that transfer of heat from the inside to the outside. The building, in effect, almost looks like an esky. It's wrapped up in this silver foil at the top, and some quite beautiful insulated slabs as well. Our timber was locally sourced. Most of the mass timber columns came from from Gippsland, the CLT from Albury, and even our bricks we managed to source locally from, when I say local, as in Victorian, regional Victoria. Some construction shots, the slab going down, the CLT panels starting to come up, the beginning of the insertion of the mass timber columns, some of them up to 12 metres high, and complex steel framing for the roof to pull it all together. We were really interested in making a building that was grounded in place, so we looked at the geology and the ecology of the island, and it was sort of almost a happy accident that the footprint of the building and the footprint of the island started to resonate with each other. And we had these sweeps and arcs and bays, reminiscent of the island in the built form. And there was so much richness in the colours, the shapes, the textures, of the island that we could draw upon, and so we wanted to make a building that felt firmly derivative of its place. One example of this is the articulated brick facade, which is reminiscent of the eroded cliff tops of the pinnacles in the southeastern corner of the island. And so onto the building itself, sitting on its site in Thompson Avenue, and coming down and looking at it from an aerial above, where you see both the civic plaza from Thompson Avenue and then a more informal garden entry. The site to the north is a development site. There's a 5-storey application, and that's why the building really addresses east and west and not north. The building, as you might experience it from the southwestern corner, this is the theatre and the art gallery, and you can see the form of the building start to sweep around and really respond to those existing trees, or some of those existing trees that we'd retained, and even retaining some of the existing brick paving from the original council offices. And the building, as it's seen from Thompson Avenue, library at this end, central entry, and theatre and grand hall at the rear end. Swinging around, we have our eastern courtyard garden entry, a very different experience, 2 minutes to go, great. And coming into the building where we really are trying to create a soft and kind building, one which uses the natural materials to create a wonderful ambience. Double height volumes for the library and some office spaces, and then coming into more intimate moments like the children's library and a carpet designed by the artist. That was a gift from the builders for the project. Staircases upstairs, and then coming into the multi-purpose spaces, which can really vary and adapt, and we designed multiple modes of occupation: dance classes, yoga classes, rehearsals, meetings, any sort of thing can happen here. But even the form of these is referencing the chicory kilns, which was one of the primary agricultural exports from the island in the 1800s. Throughout, the materials are soft and generous, and again, bringing the building back to the sense of place. But it culminates in the theatre, a 260-seat purpose-built theatre with fantastic acoustics, a space that really the island can come together and celebrate. And we spill out into the grand hall, but it's about activation, and these are the things that really go on in this building. You can see the grand hall alive with people. The acoustics are amazing. It doesn't resonate too much. Council's been able to program some fantastic artists to come here, and it's drawing more and more artists because of the quality of the venue. So that's a boon for the community, but it's really about the local community as well. Local community theatre groups, parades, theatre shows, local arts groups, all starting to celebrate and enjoy this building, and really gathering together as Berninneit prescribes. So that is the end of my presentation, hopefully in time.
Thank you.